mamas, welcome back to my channel, Home and Arrows. My name is Shirley and I am a homeschooling mom to 5, almost 6 kids. Let's see if I can show you guys the belly. 37 weeks and I think like 3 or 4 days today. And I'm also a bonus mom to 2 amazing kids. And in case you're new around here, my passions on the channel are motherhood and family and homeschooling. Today I just wanted to give a 37-week update, and if you stay tuned towards the end of the video, I'm going to do a little peek around our nursery and share what our theme is and why. And I'm also going to tackle just some questions. It's also going to be kind of like Q&A style from my Instagram, which is, I'll put it down here at the bottom, Home and Arrows is the handle. Let me get started by maybe giving a few background things. And guys, if I'm out of breath, it's just because it's like hard to breathe at this point in the pregnancy. This is my 7th pregnancy, 6th baby. So let me give some background on what my other pregnancies and kind of labor and deliveries looked like. So my first 5, I had a nurse midwife attend all of them. I never had just like a regular OB doctor or anything, and but this time around I do. I have a male OB and it's a first kind of new experience. It's actually been really good, and I'll explain why later and how all that happened. But so my first 5 had a nurse midwife. With my first, I had an epidural. With my second, had her natural without any medication. Daniel was also a natural delivery. Joanna was an epidural, and then Benjamin was natural. So I had 3 without any pain meds and 2 with an epidural. So I feel like I've kind of experienced both. And for this go round, number 6, the plan is, well, actually, so I said earlier that I've had 7 pregnancies. The pregnancy before this one, we really wanted to have a home birth so that we could have the kids with us, and my husband Dustin is the oldest of 7, and his whole family, except for one sister, live really close. And so we loved the idea of having a home birth here and I'm kind of one of those that doesn't really mind who's in the room, because I just kind of get in this zone during labor and delivery that I honestly don't even really notice the people around me. So having his sisters or his mom and my mom and him, and you know, that all sounded like a really good idea. And then we lost that baby, which is how I ended up with the OB that we have now, because when I was going through my miscarriage, my sweet husband, he like literally just was like, we're gonna call this doctor because we need to get an appointment like right now. And it had been kind of so early in the pregnancy that we hadn't even picked a doctor yet. We actually fell in love with him, and he was so great with us during that miscarriage. Lost that baby at 9 weeks. There's a video that I have about it that talks about that miscarriage, in case any of you are just having an experience right now with that and just really struggling. Like I get the trauma that feels like, and my heart goes out to you because it was really, really hard. So anyways, that's how we ended up with the doctor we have, because we just kind of loved him, and we got pregnant again about a month and a half after losing that baby, and we just kind of stuck with him. So it's been a good experience, but the home birth thing kind of went out the window too. I don't know, every time like I prayed about it and we prayed about it, just didn't have peace for some reason. And for a while I thought, does me not having peace mean that like something's gonna go wrong in this labor and delivery? But Dustin and I were on a walk the other day and we were talking about it, and I feel more like maybe that God wants to use us in the hospital to, for some reason, somehow maybe be a light. Either way, we're going where peace is leading us and guiding us, and that is to have a natural, hopefully, delivery in the hospital with our OB, even though I've always had a nurse midwife to this point. Another little tidbit to fill everyone in, like I said, I'm 37 weeks as of filming today and like 3 or 4 days. And we had a doctor appointment like 2 days ago, and I was already about 2 centimeters dilated and 50% effaced. So it really feels like almost at any point we can like be expecting our little guy to come into the world. And those numbers drive me nuts actually, because they literally could mean something or they could mean nothing. I've known people who've been dilated for a long time, like they can go weeks. And so we'll see what happens. My track record is that I typically go in the 38th and 39th week, I had one baby that made it to 40 weeks in one day. So we'll see what happens with this guy. All right, I'm gonna jump into some of the questions that I got on Instagram, and then I'm gonna show you guys around his nursery. So question 1, has this pregnancy been much different than the others? And I think I would honestly say no. Maybe because I'm older, I've maybe been more tired than the other ones, but fatigue and morning sickness is something that I always struggled with anyways in the first trimester, and I definitely had all of that. I don't like throwing up, so I threw up only one time this go round, but I walk around with that like motion sick, nauseous feeling almost throughout the entire first trimester. So I had that, and then this time, and then second trimester was great, and then third trimester, I feel like my biggest battle has been fatigue and just being tired. Like some days I'll have tons of energy, and then other days I like feel like I could literally lay down at any moment and sleep. Did you have any morning sickness? So yes, I did first trimester. Are you birthing at home? We wanted to. Doesn't seem to be in God's plan for us, but we do plan to have a natural delivery in the hospital. Do you guys think you'll have more babies in the future, or is this your last? So sweet story. My husband Dustin is the oldest of 7 kids, and when he was younger, he would tell his parents, Mom and Dad, I'm gonna have 7 kids and beat you guys by 1. I'm gonna have 7 plus 1. And when my husband went through his divorce, they had 2 children at that time, and that was like 6 years ago. His youngest is 9 years old. And so then he meets me, this woman with 5 kids, and we get married, and there goes automatically his 7, and now we have our plus 1 together, which I think is kind of cool. We both feel, for the most part, peace about Caden being our last baby, but to be honest, there are definitely times where we're like, oh, maybe we should have one more after this. And for me personally, it's because I've had, I had so many kids back to back, and it was such a positive experience in that my kids always had playmates, and it kicked my butt on the front end, but in the long term, it definitely paid off, because I honestly feel like it's harder to have one kid than it is to have like a whole bunch who just go off and play together, because then I feel like, am I gonna have to entertain him the rest of his life? I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just my fear. And also, he's gonna be 9 years removed. My youngest and Dustin's youngest, they're both 9 years old. And so by the time Caden is 9 years old, his siblings are gonna be 18 and up. But another thing is that 2 of Dustin's sisters are pregnant right now. So we kind of feel like Cade will be fine. He'll grow up with cousins who are like his age and live close around. So the answer is we don't think we'll have any more, but I don't know. I'm just easily convinced when it comes to having children. So we'll see what happens. Does he have a name yet? I feel like I just said it. Yes, he has a name. His name is Caden Lee. Caden means fighter. Do you have any exercises you do while pregnant? So second trimester, I got in this little gym kick, and I was going to the gym, and I was trying to walk 1.5 miles every morning and doing some light weight resistance stuff. And I remember the very last day I went to the gym, it was sometime in my second trimester, and I was on the treadmill, and it was the first time like I couldn't make it to that 1.5 miles. Like I felt so tired, and I just stopped and like never went back after that. So to answer the question, I did exercise, and I haven't in like 3 or 4 months. Any co-parenting or struggles with other kids since you guys announced? So pretty much since the beginning, all the children have been really excited about welcoming a new sibling into the family. There have been a couple, literally probably a couple, 2 out of the 7 that are like, we just have a lot of kids in this family, and that's totally understandable. And not only that, but all of our children have been through a lot of big life transitions. And so for a couple of them to take some time to have to acclimate to the idea of another sibling has been completely understandable. But we are to the point where everyone is excited and ready to meet little man. How did you handle informing other parents or kids? So I took my 2 big girls out and had a 1-on-2 conversation with them. And the younger, we call them the youngers, the 5 that range in age from 9 to 12. And Dustin and I brought them into our bedroom and sat them down and told them the news, and they were all like super excited. So that was fun. All right, so those were just a couple of questions that I wanted to tackle. I do want to take a few minutes and show you around the nursery. But before I do that, I want to let you know what our theme is and why we chose it. We kind of have a simple theme going on in here. And about 2 weeks ago, Dustin and I went shopping for little man's, like his stuffy and like his lovey blanket that we want him to have, you know, throughout his childhood. I don't know if you guys do that, but each of my kids have like a special stuffed animal and a special blanket. So we went shopping for that. And while we were shopping, we were like, what kind of stuffed animal do we get him? And previously, as I've been decorating the nursery, there's been this theme of like this verse, be strong and courageous. I got it back over there. I think it's 1 Corinthians 16:13 that says, stand firm in the faith, be courageous and be strong. And what I've prayed over my son, because his name is Caden, and Caden means fighter, is that he would be a fighter for the faith, and that he would be strong, that he would be brave, and that he would be courageous. And I thought it was really cool when we were looking for a stuffed animal for him. Dustin said, I want it to be a lion. We should get him a lion. And immediately in my spirit, I was like, yes, that is so perfect. That fits exactly how I picture Caden. Being strong, being courageous, being brave, being a leader, being a fighter for his faith. And so we kind of went with this little lion theme sprinkled throughout the nursery, and you'll see touches of that here and there. But it's really super simple, and I will show you around now. All right, you guys, so here is little man's nursery. Okay, when you walk in, here's one wall, and yes, I know there's a TV in here, but this TV is not meant for Caden. This is for Dustin and I, and I'll show you in a minute how the nursery rocking chair glider is like opposite of this. But that's for us to be able to watch some shows when we're up with him in the middle of the night. And then over here is the crib. And you can see the little stuffed lion that I told you we got him from Target. His little blanket is from Kohl's, and the other dino stuffy's from Target. We got this sweet little lion print off Etsy. And then on the right, his dad actually, Dustin, is gonna write a prayer for him that we're gonna put right here. And then on this side, we have this like beautiful prayer that some friends of ours wrote and sent us. And so we love it so much. We wanted it displayed and put above his bed. I got those frames, guys, at Target Dollar Spot. It was awesome. Lamp is from Target. Then we got a little hatch there, sound machine. So then you come over this way. And this little lion is a lion that my boys have always had in their room. And then just a plant from the at-home store. Boys Were Made for Adventure from Hobby Lobby. Then over here we have our rocker and an ottoman poof thing from Amazon. The rocker is also from Amazon, as well as the dresser. And then we've got his little bookshelf and a few pictures of our maternity session and some of my favorite books that I read to my other kids when they were younger. And Dustin loves Winnie the Pooh, so we definitely had to include that. And see what I mean about having a small theme of being strong and courageous that ties in with the lion. A little wipe warmer, a little wipe changing station. Be kind and brave from Hobby Lobby. The mirror is from Walmart. And then his little dresser. And then over here we have his little closet. Doesn't really have that much in it yet, but some clothes, storage. There goes little man's nursery. All right, you guys, well, thank you so much for visiting the channel. If you are looking for any kind of encouragement when it comes to motherhood, when it comes to homeschooling, when it comes to family life, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and maybe follow us on Instagram at homeandarrows. And I'm looking forward to being able to show you guys Caden's birth, and hopefully that will be sooner than later. All right, you guys, be blessed. Bye.